A man asked me for coffee today after work, and I politely told him no, and then brought myself to McAllister's, where I got this croissant, this grilled chicken sandwich, and an entire bowl of broccoli cheddar soup and a Dr. Pepper for under $25. Now, I'm not going to argue with you about how you like to date, just like I don't want you to argue with me about how I like to date. But coffee is never going to be an option for me. And just like I respect your choice to coffee, respect mine to not coffee. I have two regrets about my coffee dates video. One is that I didn't make that video longer than a minute, because if I knew it was going to take off the way that it did, I certainly would have made it longer than a minute so I could get the coin. And number two, I would have tagged McAllister's. The amount of promo that McAllister's has gotten from that video alone, in fact, I might still reach out to them to ask them to sponsor the next date. And to the lady who said that she doesn't believe any man asks me on a date, and she doesn't believe that I'm used to getting asked out on dates, to that I would say you are correct.
The next date, you would allow somebody to take you on a date to McAllister's.
Correct. But you are correct, because I ended a 5-year relationship this year. To my followers who did not know that, we can unpack that at a later time. Breakup is
you should have just said that. People wouldn't be going at her the way they are if she would have just said, hey, I rejected a coffee date because I just got out of a 5-year relationship and I want some time to breathe. If she would have said that, would have been a breeze.
Your foot back into the dating world. So I've only been back in the dating world for a couple months. And that was maybe my third video about my dating experiences thus far. Maybe third. It doesn't matter. The point is that was not the first time, and it won't be the last time. I will say, once I clock in with somebody, once I lock in, he won't be getting posted just like that relationship did get posted. Why? Because if Jackie Osimo has told me nothing else, if you don't want to talk about, don't put it on the internet.
You didn't want coffee.
All right, so I never thought coffee dates were a real date. Ever. Like, I've always thought of like anything in the morning, if I'm going out and hanging with somebody, I've never had it, put it like this. Technically, I've never had a coffee date turned down, because I usually just equate, if we're going to hang out in the morning, hey, you're off, I'm off, or whatever, or we got some time, hey, let's go get some food somewhere. Let's go get some breakfast. I always treat it just like a hangout. It's not really a real date. Of course, there's lunch dates. It's kind of a sort of a lunch date, a breakfast date. I've never said breakfast and date in the same sentence. I was always say, hey, we hanging out. We're going to get some breakfast. We're going to get some food. And there's coffee served there. I'll just get a cup of coffee, or even like an Irish coffee where they put liquor in it. That's on the menu in some places, Irish coffee. You know what I mean? So there's all types of morning drinks and places you can go to eat. And even if you do go to a cafe, these cafes aren't really particularly cheap. Like, for a really good cup of coffee, it'll run you like $13-14 for a nice size great cup of coffee at these cafes, and they have like breakfast menus and everything else. I always considered it like a hangout. That's just me. You want to get some food real quick, chat it up, and then we're gonna go on about our day from there. I didn't really see the big deal. I didn't know this was gonna turn into this much of a big deal just because she rejected a coffee date from somebody from getting out of a dating situation. But the way she came off, it was so snarky. And it did seem kind of like, clock it, like that type of, you know what I mean? Like, girl, I got preferences too. And she was boasting about it kind of real big, in a big way. Even though the video was short, it just came off super snarky. It was just like, I don't do coffee dates ever. I'm too good for that. It came off like that.
But you ate McAllister's. McAllister's is about compatible as far as price point to a coffee shop. When y'all talk about a coffee shop, y'all act like Starbucks is the only coffee shop that exists.
When I was looking at her food, I was thinking of Panera Bread. So that's what I kind of equated it to when I saw the McAllister's.
Most coffee shops nowadays got full menus, and they're not cheap. They're not cheap at all. I can spend anywhere from $10 to $12 on a matcha or a chai latte, depending on how I fix it up. If I substitute the milks, if I add in certain syrups, it can get up to about $12 sometimes just for the drink. So sitting up here and acting as if you got these high standards because you turned down a coffee shop, but then in exchange for turning down a coffee shop, you went and took yourself to McAllister's for an under 25 meal deal. And she was absolutely trying to be shady in this whole thing. She's being disingenuous by sitting up now and acting as if that wasn't her intention. She's not trying to make it seem like she too good, or that wasn't the tone of it. But yes, it is.
That was the tone, and that was one of the reasons why she had to make that follow-up video. But did she kind of double down in the way saying, I would have made it longer?
Yes, it is. You got on here and made it seem as if you're too good. You can't take a coffee date. And that's why you're getting ate up by the internet. You deserve to get ate up by the internet because you were trying to shame women who will accept coffee dates and make it seem like you're too good for one, and it backfired on you, right? Because you ain't the messenger for that message. And that's the reason why the internet coming for you. It ain't no different than the dude who was talking about mid women approaching him looking the way he did. Y'all are one and the same type of people. Anytime y'all put too much emphasis on where the date is or how much the date costs, I know you're not used to nothing. You're not used to dates and you're not used to going to nice.
What if she said to the dude, like, hey, I don't really like coffee dates like that, but we can do something else. I don't really do coffee dates, but you seem like an interesting person, so we could go somewhere else. I don't really, but we can go out. We can go on a date. But I guess she turned everything down completely, including the dude. So I guess there's nothing.
Places. I also know a lot of y'all women use these dates as opportunity to dress up, social media content, and to brag to your homegirls about where you got a man to take you to. But most of the time when somebody prioritizes the location and the price point over just getting to know the person, which is what the whole interaction is supposed to be about, it's because you don't have pure intentions. Because by this point, we all know no matter where that man take you, no matter how much he spends, none of that is a reflection on what he wants with you and how he's going to treat you.
It be the black women who...
It's almost like coffee dates or brunch dates. Just the menu is not as extreme and there's no DJ. Would you equivalent that to like a turn down brunch date?
know that they have limited options with men that always want to try to make a man look like shit. Like, bitch, you are overweight and you're a solid 3. The audacity of you. Now, we all know that lady who went viral about talking about some man invited her on a coffee date.
You're already doing a lot.
And she told him no. And she went to go get her a sandwich, a soup, and a croissant, and a Dr. Pepper. Bitch, you lucky you got asked out on a date. Chivalry is dead nowadays. And bitch, you really gonna try to make this man look crazy for asking you on a coffee date because you don't like coffee? Bitch, clearly you like everything that's unhealthy for your ass. And I'm going to touch on every aspect of the situation because y'all got me and I'm vexed. And y'all know me. I'm quick to call everybody out on their shit and I don't give a because you can't whoop me. But bitch, your hungry ass should have just said that you was hungry. But no, your big, insecure, overweight ass decided to sit your phone down while your fat ass was eating and press record.
You doing way too much. Coffee date equals no date, and then we get we get mad fat jokes.
Talking about how the man was asking you on a coffee date and you politely told him no. And then everybody over here defending you talking about, oh, well, she been told him that she didn't like coffee and he kept asking her to go on coffee dates. Okay, you be the same bitches that don't want to be talked to in the store. But yeah, you talking to niggas that you know that ain't give you the conversation that you want. And then you want to complain. What sense do that make? You bitches be your own fucking enemy. And it's plain as day. Now, would he have been wrong if he would have took her on a date to the goddamn gym? I don't think so. I think that's actually beneficial for her and him. The man clearly just wanted to get to know your ass by asking you out for coffee. The fuck? You lucky you got asked out on a fucking date. You just ungrateful, bitch. Y'all be the same women that be like, oh, if he talked to me in a grocery store, he better offer to pay for my groceries, or what do we have to talk about? The man don't know you. Y'all be wanting men to do shit for y'all just because you got a coochie. Bitch, fuck you. And not only that, I saw somebody else stitch my homegirl video on this fucking topic talking about, oh, I think we should take people's stories on TikTok with a grain of salt because people be telling stories just to get paid. So y'all exploiting yourselves and embarrassing yourselves and other people who may or may not exist for...
Yes, people do that all the time. Yes. And sometimes these stories they're making thousands off of fake stories.
$1?
Yes.
That you may or may not get. Mm-hmm. Talking about you're a content creator.
Yes, they do this.
Oh, yeah. The world is ending, y'all. These women don't know what the fuck.
The video that you're making, that you just made right now, homegirl, you're making it like it is right now, and it's going viral because of the way you made it. And you just fat joked the hell out of this girl in the beginning. Yes, you doing it too right now, indirectly and directly at the same time.
To do. They don't know how to be women. That Willie Lynch shit did his motherfucking job, bro. All that shit that our ancestors had to go through back in the day for slavery and racism and all this shit, like, was for fucking nothing.
This nigga went from coffee dates, calling this girl fat, to straight up slavery and racism. Oh, man. All right.
Because look at the shit that y'all choose to do, bro. You got black people making other black people look bad. This shit is sick.
I don't even know what the dude was black. How we know he was black? I don't know her last boyfriend was black. We don't know what color he was, but she just got out of a relationship. She's been single for 2 months. This might have been the first time somebody asked her out in those 2 months. I guess, I don't know. People were just calling this girl ugly and fat. So what do you have to do? Turning down coffee dates. What did you do in turning down coffee dates? That's pretty much what this is. Well, the part that's highlighted.
When do we get it together, bro? Cause calling y'all out of y'all shit, y'all making it seem like I'm doing something wrong. No, I'm trying to hold everybody accountable here. Because once we all take accountability, can't nobody take shit from us, bro. But bitches like that, and there are some men like that, but there's more women like that in this world. Because you bitches are just so miserable. And then y'all sit here and make it seem like all black men act like that. No, because if all black men act like that, all black women act like that. And that's not true. Some of us really out here doing what it takes to be better people. Doing what it takes to really be at peace and be successful and be happy and love healthily. You know what I'm saying? Y'all weird as and that shit pisses me off. All of this shit because he asked to take you on a coffee date. All of this because of a coffee date. He shouldn't have asked your ass to go nowhere. He shouldn't even spoke to your bitch ass. Y'all better be mindful who y'all be speaking to. I see why fellas don't talk to y'all. I see why they don't speak to y'all. That's why women like me shoot my shot. Because bitches like y'all, they be shooting their shots and then y'all do shit like that. Like, I can't stand you bitches, y'all. I'm allergic. I am literally deadly allergic to you bitches. Please stay the fuck away from my black men before I have to fuck y'all up. Okay?
Yeah, she was doing too much. So you know how dudes always make those simple videos in a restaurant where it's just, it'll say like the price of the meal. It'll be like $14.75 and they'll be eating the food. They'll be like, yeah. It'll say, where are all the men? How come no men are dating anymore? Da, 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 wooty, wooty, whoop. And they'll say, I'm enjoying this meal more than spending like $200 on a meal with a girl. And they'll be like Applebee's, $25. All you can.
Man, all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny.
We don't really get too much flack from that. It usually gets just laughs and comedic jokes in the comments. We don't really get dinged for that. So I guess it's kind of a double standard, sort of. And then, you know, you can get called, oh, you cheap then. We don't get that much. Well, you being cheap. You want to go out by yourself. You want to go out with women and you going out to a cheap restaurant. You just a cheap ass. We don't get that type of stuff. Not really. Yeah, people got preferences no matter how they look, whether they're fat, skinny, small, you think they're ugly or snarky or whatever. Preferences are preferences. But personally to me, I didn't think this was that big of a deal because I never thought coffee dates were real dates anyway. I always thought it was just like a hangout. You get to know somebody. Hey, you want some food real quick? It's something about the morning time. If I'm going out with a girl in the morning time, it just doesn't feel like a date. It just feels like we're hanging out 9:30 in the morning, 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning, getting a quick bite to eat on a Wednesday morning. We just happen to be both off of work. You know what I mean? So